Hello and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Scenes. My name is Andres Cuervo, and this is a space for creatives, people in the film industry, artists to come and share about their lives and what's happening beyond work, beyond what we see in the industry, beyond the scenes. And today, I have the great opportunity of having here in the studio my good friend and brother, Joseph Frederick. And welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
I know that we talk about a few times, hey, you gotta come and share because there's so many, cool things.
Yeah.
Um, but it happens, there's time for everything, and I'm glad that you're here. I want to start, talking a little bit about your background and how is it that you became interested in filmmaking?
Okay. So first of all, I grew up. Well, I have a bilingual Spanish like background. My mom's side of the family is Panamanian,
No,
and my dad's from South Carolina. So yeah, but
but that's why you go by Panamanian
yeah,
camera or
yeah, the whole Panamanian production thing is just like honoring from my Panamanian heritage, Panamanian side of the family. So um, which is mostly like what I grew up in, pretty much. My mom spoke like 3, 4 languages. My grandmother same. So it's kind of like yeah, it was. I grew up different than most people that I know or who grew up with me rather. So and pretty much how I got into film, it just kind of happened. I mean, everybody
okay,
kind of like watching TV,
okay,
and like watching movies and stuff
influences.
like that. But it was like when I got into high school, I started like, take pictures. This is before Instagram and all this social media stuff where everybody's on the phone or whatever.
What was your first camera?
It was a Rebel T3i, I believe. Yeah, a Rebel T3i.
Rebel from the heart.
Yeah. It did and then I think it was a Nikon D80,
Okay.
something like that. And then, so on and so on. I had like a Canon 5D and then,
There you go.
whatever. So it started from photography, just taking pictures, random pictures of people, and just, kind of taking a love of composition. And then just like it kind of like I got to a point where it got kind of a little boring. So I was like, well, maybe I'll start doing motion, you know what I'm saying? So I was like,
Mm.
okay, let me start off by shooting like music videos, a little short films for friends or something like that or whatnot. So and then, just stay consistent and we just so on and so on from there. So
Were you the only, artist, filmmaker, photographer in your circle, or were there other people with the same interest around you?
it was me and my friend Eric. He was like he drew a lot. So but outside of that, everybody else wanted to be something else, a lawyer or a doctor or I don't know, do construction, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I was like film, yeah, you know what I'm saying. But I didn't realize that I really wanted to do it until like a little bit after high school. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just like one of those things where I was in high school. It was like, oh yeah, film is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Like I really didn't know myself. Um, so it took a while. Start doing like regular jobs, like just like working at Six Flags, working at a pallet place, bleeding every day. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do this forever. Like, but yeah, I mean, a film is something that really is like something that really changed my life for the better. I mean, like honestly speaking, so it's like I have a deep love for film because of what it's done for my life. So yeah.
And at the time, what was the kind of movies or genre that inspired you? For me, for example, I remember watching The Goonies. That was one of the early memories I have of a film. What was it for you?
I like the old like Terminator movies. Like I was a big Terminator fan, and like so I was like, wow, like how do people like make these scenes with just say a camera and some lights? Like how do they make it look so realistic and so like I mean, and then like stuff like Training Day, stuff like
Yeah.
um I mean I can go on and on and on different movies, but I like comedies as well.
Yeah.
Like Friday, like yeah, just I could it's a list, it's a whole list of movies I could just name, but And it's just like the interesting fact that people could really make magic from behind the lens is just something that kind of I took an interest in. And I took it at first when I started doing it. I wasn't really serious at first because I didn't really know like where this could take me or where what it could do for me.
Yeah, it was a passion before it became,
Right, a
you know,
career,
a career. Yeah.
right. So and then like I just stay consistent. That's what I try to tell everybody. Like consistency is the best thing that you can do for yourself in anything you're trying to do. Because like the more consistent you are, the better chances you have to be successful. You know what I'm saying? And grow your skill set. So yeah.
Yep. So, what do you consider was the first kind of breakthrough to say, "Hey, I'm going to take this passion into a career"? The first time that you saw yourself, like, "Okay, now this I'm going to be a filmmaker for the rest of my life."
Okay, so one of my best friends named Chris Tobin. He's like one of my best friends like forever. I mean 30-year friendship. I'm 39 right now. But I would say when I first got the opportunity to work for this company called Pascal Lighting, it wasn't really
Mm,
being on set yet, but it was like dealing with the gear that people on set use. So it's like I was the one that was pretty much like handing the lights to the gaffers and all that stuff and introducing myself, da 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 da. And once I finally when I got the job at Pascal, I was like, okay, I'm working with real filmmakers. I'm working with real lights. I'm not messing with like a light bulb trying to light somebody. Like you know what I'm saying? I got real. This is before HMI, by as well. By the way, this is like Mole Richardson lights. This is like
mm.
old tungsten. You know, yeah, old lights. This is what like how I first started. And it was just like, okay, well, this is what the professional use. Okay, so I was like, okay, well, might as well see if I can just join and go freelance, from this. So, and then like, when I started talking to gaffers and they took an interest in me because they saw how hungry I was to try to like go from working the warehouse and to actually being on set. So, I just had like a good energy about myself, especially back then. Um, I mean, I still have the same energy, but the politics kind of make you up and down,
Yeah,
to be honest. But yeah, yeah, I think that was probably like my breakthrough.
that's awesome. And not only that, you started, very junior, like on the lighting department,
Oh yeah.
but then interested in camera department, and finally going into very specific skill, which is Steadicam. Why don't you just talk a little bit about that journey?
So after working like maybe like I don't know 7 years as an electrician 479 Union Force local 479. Um, I saw this Steadicam operator. I mean over the years. So you have the rigging side, you have the first unit side of 479, and I started off on the rigging side, and then I eventually went to like first unit side where we actually shooting the movies or whatnot. So so eventually from the rigging side, I started the first unit side, and I used to see all these operators. Me being a former athlete,
Okay.
arrogance. Here it goes. So me being a former athlete, I used to look at these Steadicam operators like, yeah, I could do that. Like, what's so hard about that? Da, 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 da. Like, and yeah, I mean, and then I went to LA and I trained with this guy named Greg Smith, Steadicam lessons on Venice Beach in California and whatnot. It was yeah,
A
that was
wake call.
yeah. He made a man out of me that day. I'll tell you. I can't thank Greg enough. But he put that rig on me, and I was like, holy moly! Like, no, this is a real skill set. And I immediately knew day one, like, okay, these guys deserve whatever the hell they're getting paid because this shit is heavy and this shit hurts.
Yeah.
Like, and but I had a um I'm not gonna quit. Like I'm determined to make it. This is what I'm gonna do type of vibe and type of energy. And like Greg knew that while he was teaching me. So he was just like, so I was one of the first students that actually filmed a short film in his house while he's training. Like he don't let nobody in his house. Like
Wow.
at the time. Like it's probably other, many people now. But I was one of the first ones that shot a short film while training. I told him he does like 3 classes a day, 2 classes So it's like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I don't know if he still does it like this. It was like a morning class and an evening class. And for like a month and a half, I just told him, yeah, I'm booking you for a month and a half, both classes,
Mm.
you know, per day. And, and he looked at me, well, not, we was on the phone. He was just like, are you serious? I was like, yeah, like so serious. Like I was just like, I had just like a different determination to try to make it than most people. And then I traveled out there. I traveled to New York, traveled to Chicago for different trainings and all that stuff. And I just really, really took a liking to Steadicam because I knew it was like a special tool that'll separate me from other operators or most operators. And I just enjoy, the movement and the collaboration with me, the director, the DP, the actors. I just really enjoy that and just being on my own island on set because 9 times out of 10, it's not another Steadicam operator on set with you. It's
Yeah.
you're the person.
Yeah.
Whether you're female or male doing it. So it's like if something happens, you're the one that's gotta make it happen. So and yeah, then I kind of took a liking of the pressure
Mm.
that I don't know. It's weird. That's kind of backwards, but I don't know. Like I kind of like, oh, it's a crazy dynamic shot and it's a big long runner and da 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 da. Let's try to like
Challenge.
just a challenge. I'm like, all right, well, let's block it, let's see it, and let's shoot it, let's do it.
Yeah.
Like I don't take it as like pressure anymore. I don't know, maybe because the love that I have for it is just kind of take the pressure away. So yeah.
That's awesome. And one thing that I want to understand is, I remember watching Rocky Balboa,
Oh,
you know,
Rocky. That's
that
a great
scene,
movie.
that scene when he's going up the stairs, and I don't know if historically it's the first time they
That's
use
one of
prosthetic
the
cam,
first shots of Steadicam. Yep.
but it was very remarkable how, as a movement tool, it helps kind of tell the dynamic now. There was a time in the industry where everything was Steadicam, and then gimbals came, and now everything is gimbals and drones. But there seems to be like a resurgence of like, let's use the Steadicam as a tool because there's something different and unique about it. I
Yeah.
don't know what is your take on the different tools when it comes to camera movement.
Well, I mean gimbals, yeah, I mean they work, yes, but the Steadicam is just a totally different tool. It's not the same feeling, I would say, as far as camera movement. If I was to do something like more Ronin, like to me, it'll it's kind of like you get the best of both worlds with the handheld and a little steady.
Okay.
Depending on the shot that you're trying to accomplish and the feeling of the scene, like it makes sense. But like for me, you call me biased, but if I want a smooth shot, a smooth moving shot that I know I can't use a dolly because we're going everywhere with it, then it's a Steadicam. Um, if it's something, running through the woods or something like that and chasing somebody, that'll be more handheld and or a fight scene or something like that. That'll be more handheld and like I'll probably do away with the Steadicam. That'll be more handheld Ronin type
Okay.
of feel. You know what I'm saying? So it just all depends on your flavor. But I'm totally Steadicam guy. Like I will never use the Ronin. Me personally, I'll just go handheld before I use a Ronin. I'll just use my Steadicam or I'll just go handheld.
Yeah.
So
Now, what's the difference between the Steadicam and something like the Trinity, for example?
so you have your regular Steadicam and then you have like the upper echelon ones like the Trinity and Trinity 2s and all that. Basically, they have a javelin mode where they can have the sled just straight, like pretty much they could stick it in the window of a car from the driver and pull it out, from the driver and reveal like the passenger and out the window and all that, you know what I'm saying, which a regular Steadicam cannot do. Also, you have the low mode, the high mode movement that a Trinity can do versus a regular Steadicam. A regular Steadicam, I have to flip the sled upside down
And it takes time to reset.
yeah, do all that. It takes time. If you have like a vault, it doesn't take that much time. You can just flip it and reset it and you're ready to go. If you have others like a wave or something like that, you may have to do different adjustments.
But do you have to rebalance once you make those moves?
So no, so when I go to low mode with my sled, I don't have to, the adjustment time is not that, I just flip it. And if I turn the vote on, I just 2-second reset and then I'm ready to go. So, that works well with, the set process. So yeah, that's pretty much the differences.
Well, I think that's great talking about all the technical stuff and the background of, that's the reason why we came to work together and to meet. It was through the industry,
Yeah,
but then we became friends and we start sharing about our backgrounds.
yeah,
You were mentioning about, your family background, and I'm Colombian and your background is Panamanian. One time Colombia and Panama were the same country. We all ate arepas at one point.
mhm.
But I would love to know not only a little bit more about your background, but how is that cultural, ethnic background influencing you in your work, in your life, going to some of these countries in the Caribbean
Yeah.
and doing some special stuff?
For all right, so I mean, where I'm from, it's not a lot of people that's actually like doing a lot of cinematography work or
Mm.
just camera operator to this level. Um, pretty much DSLRs and just going around shooting things. But as far as like the inspiration from like my background, it's just I just know that nobody in my family is doing anything like this. So it kind of separates me, apart. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like they're so proud of of what I do or whatnot, and it's just like for me, it's like, well, it's cool. I tell them, the ups and downs about everything.
It sometimes it's not as glossy and glamorous as it looks like.
Right, so but it basically just nobody in my family does it, and I just want to be somebody that if I can make it in this and or make a way for the younger people in my family. That's what I'll try to do. So the whole background, yeah, I have Panamanian background, but the roots are from Barbados.
Okay.
So like my family, Roosevelt Hines, that's like great Roosevelt Hines. I mean, the name will tell you enough.
Yeah.
So this is like 1800s, like 1817, and basically through slavery, uh, my family broke up, like split in like three different parts, like Trinidad, Panama, and well, Barbados, Panama, Trinidad, and Bahamas, and we're the Panamanian side of the family, the
Okay.
Hines family. So yeah,
And then you have cousins all over.
yeah, I have cousins all over the Caribbean. They're just scattered all over. So the thing about when I shoot overseas, especially in the Caribbean, I notice that it's a lot harder for Caribbean people to get the same gear
Hmm.
that we can get in the US, like, and also they pay more in taxes.
Hmm.
So basically, okay, I bought an Alexa 35, I spent 100 grand on it, and over 100 grand, but they're gonna spend damn near 200 grand for the same camera because of the custom tax, and then the country tax, and then like maybe some other tax. Like
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. It's almost like it's cheaper to like, so like if they want to buy a car in the Caribbean, let's just say Barbados, it's cheaper for them to chop the car up, send it in the mail than to actually have the car whole.
Wow.
And eh, so it's like when you see people in the Caribbean, especially, like have a whole bunch of lights, have a like camera gear and all that, you salute them because you know that they've been through a lot. They had to pay a lot more than an American
Yeah.
for that same piece of gear, which is, somebody should look into that because
Yeah.
that's not really cool. I mean, I wanted to do a documentary about this, but yeah, we got to look into this.
And it's not only the access to the gear, but also the access to the training, the
Yeah,
education,
yeah.
a-
So
and it's something that you've been tapping into to kind of help.
yeah, so in Jamaica, I'm talking to the film commission out there to try to do like a Steadicam and a crane workshop. They have like cinematography workshops, like different like DPs and directors or whatnot. They'll come in and like have like workshops or whatever. But crane wheels and Steadicam is not something that they have. They don't even have the type of cranes that we have here, like elite support crane, like all these
Mm.
or
Techno crane.
techno cranes. They don't have like none of those. So
What do you think in your particular journey, education, it's important? It's almost like you've been blessed to have all this equipment and knowledge and opportunities, but it's almost as if your way to give back is also through educating other people.
yeah, it's very important because I know like it wasn't easy for me to get, you know, the education. And I'm here in the States. You know, I asked people in, you know, here in Atlanta when I was an electrician, you know, hey, what do I need to do to, you know, work my way to camera? What do I need to do? It's like the help wasn't there, or the
Mm,
push wasn't there from certain people. So, you know, I had to go elsewhere to, you know, get my motivation and get, well, not my motivation, just to get the training and get the education and
yeah.
reinvent myself to what I am today. So, for me, I know those kids over there, like Jamaica, Panama, you know, especially, so when I did like a drone class in Panama, like you could just see the excitement in these kids' face. Like they never even like seen nothing like this before, or been like had access to something like this. And it almost make you cry. Like, it was like, damn, like this is we could just go around the corner and play with this drone or play with this camera or whatever.
Really?
Like they really have to get on a plane to
Yeah.
get educated for some stuff like this that we just take advantage of or just like take it for granted. So it's just you know, when you see that, it humbles you, and it just kind of like it just makes you want to give back. It just makes you feel like you should give back. Yeah, so
Yeah, and something that you shared with me before when we hanging out and stuff like that is how it's not only your commitment to your people, giving back, your heritage, but also the love that you have for your mom
yeah.
and like kind of a promise that you made to her to be able to fulfill this dream.
Yeah, so when my mom passed, I lost her in July, well, June 2024, last year. But and you know, before she passed, I kind of I had some talks with her, some deep talks with her, about, you know, my life and what I'm gonna do when she's gone, and like how I'm gonna honor her, and how I'm gonna, you know, just be a better man, just not even for her, just for me too as well.
Mm,
You know, and one of the last conversations we had was me like trying to get back to like Jamaica and different like Caribbean countries, and like really trying to push the envelope for this. And she was in bad shape in the bed that day in particular. It was like the day before she passed. But she didn't have any energy. She didn't have like, she was just really in bad shape. But when I was telling her all the things I was doing in Jamaica and different Caribbean countries, she used like the little bit of her energy left to like turn her head, look at me, and smile, you know. And I knew like that it took everything she had to do that.
it was like approving.
Yeah, it was like one of those, okay, son, I know you're gonna be okay type of thing, and I see what kind of man you're gonna be. It was like one of those, like a send off type of, I know you're gonna be okay, and don't worry about me type of, you know. So
Mm,
yeah, and you know, and just like I promised her, I'm gonna keep my promise. So yeah, I'm just pushing the envelope. I'm, you know, doing things to help myself grow, like getting uncomfortable.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? I tell people all the time that you know, the best way for growth is to be uncomfortable. Like if let's just say like, okay, you say you want to start being a DP. Well, be a DP. You know, practice, work on your craft. You know, study. Do the things that you know you have to do to be successful. And so yeah, and
mm.
I'm doing that.
Now, I know that you're very close to your mom, and I'm not talking about in the past tense because I know that even though she's not physically with you, you're still close to her
Yeah.
in the spirit and in your relationship and in the values that you carry. Uh, how was for you that process of losing a parent that you were so close to? And in this, I want to talk a little bit about the process of grief. And uh, we all go through tough things, but I can't imagine. I still have my both of my parents, but when they're in bad health, I always think like, what is it to go through a process of grief like that?
So yeah, grief. I tell you. So actually being on set
Mm,
helped me with the grieving of my mother for sure. Because a lot of people can't say this, but I really, really passionately like love what I do.
okay.
Like really love what I do for a living. And like being on set was just like, it was like medicine for me. Because I'm on set, I'm doing what I love. So like it separates me from real life,
Yeah.
even though it's real life. But it just separates me from the reality, okay, my mom's gone and it's something I have to deal with forever.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be easy, but just being busy helped me deal with it. But at first, when it first happened, it was just kind of like it was really, really tough. You know, you get in that depressed state because
Mm.
a loss like that, like I've never felt a hurt like that in my life.
Yeah.
Um, so it was like something that was brand new and something that I had to learn how to deal with, learn how to, live without my mom, and which is I don't even like saying that,
Yeah.
but it's just a reality. So being on set definitely helped me a lot with the grieving because I was finding myself getting to a point where I didn't really want to do nothing for a while. I had like I went to Barbados for a minute to kind of grieve there. I still have her ashes. I still haven't went home to Panama yet, where I'm gonna spread her ashes. I still haven't like psychologically like you know got over like I still have my mom's bedroom in my house. Like still, I haven't touched anything yet. Like as far as like cleaning out anything.
Because it's a process. It's
Yeah, it's
a
still
shift that
right.
happens immediately.
hmm So I mean, I'm still grieving. I think about her every day. I have her on my screensaver on my phone.
Mm.
Yeah, she was my heart. So, but being on set definitely helps me get through it.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I mean, talking to you as a friend previously and during the interview, it just brings about the fact that a lot of people, especially young men, grow up with uh, the idea that being a man, you got to be tough.
Yeah.
You can't express your feelings. Uh, you can't meet up with your pals and friends and say, "Hey, listen, I'm grieving and I'm depressed and I'm sad." And for you, how's it been, just to discover this part where you can come to terms with like how you feel and also the way you were taught as a man?
Um, I mean, I'm still trying to come to terms, to be honest. It's just like I say, friend, my career, and when you go through something like this is the time where you know who your friends are, you know who your people are, because people that I never would have thought call me or check on me or anything like that really was like eye opening, and it wasn't just like, okay, it just happened, so let's check on them now and then never check on them again after that. It was one of those like continuous, like, check on me, make sure my mental health is okay, making sure I'm eating, making sure, what I'm saying, stuff like that. Cause I wasn't eating much the first week. It was just, it just hit me so fast. Like
Yeah.
I guess the people in my life also helped as well to kind of cope with everything. Talk to I have a therapist as well. I talk to him as well. To kind of again help deal with all this stuff. Help, it's not really something that you can really just heal from,
Mm.
but through words, it'll help you. You can know how to deal with it better,
Okay.
type of thing.
Yeah, I'm in the process of finding a therapist myself. It almost feels like speed dating, kind of.
Yeah.
And it's like trying to find a person that you can really connect and be open and honest about. But how is therapy working in your life and improving your life?
So the first thing about therapy is you gotta like understand that the therapist is not there to solve your problems.
Mm.
It's to help you deal with things better, and like for you to find another way to look at things,
It's like
a better way to look
you
at
gotta do the homework anyway.
right. You know what I'm saying? So that's number one. But my therapist says a lot of things that make sense.
Mm.
Like, I mean, you can't change what happened,
Yeah.
but you can change like how you feel and how you go about the rest of your life, and how how this affects your life, how it affects your career, how it affects your love life, how it affects your relationship with your kids or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So and the things that he's been telling me and all that, like it's just it's been positively working. So yeah, so the therapy works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, in your journey, you take this passion that you have, a clear passion that starts with photography, taking a camera, the passion for filmmaking and telling stories. And then you have all these experiences going overseas, training people. And then through the loss of your mom, you get even a commitment and a purpose of taking that passion and that career into something that gives back to the community, that honors her memory. And it seems like at this stage of your life, you're also taking that career into a business that thrives and wants to be profitable. And in your particular case, you made a huge investment on a camera, lenses, Steadicam rig. You could have purchased two houses at this point, but you make the choice of investing in your career seriously and not as a game. Not what make you go from just deciding to work as a freelancer to actually say, okay, I'm going to be an owner operator and this is going to function differently, more as a serious company, and invest all of this money in your future of your career?
Um, Again, it takes a deep love for what you do
Mm.
to want to say, you know what, I'm not going to buy a house. I'm going to buy some cameras and lenses and make it make sense to like your parents and like your girlfriend or whatever. Because it's like you really could have just bought a house and like paid off and you know what I'm saying? We could did this, did that, but I just look at like for me, um one, I wanted to be able to shoot my own stuff without being told no.
Yeah.
I don't like being told no as far as like, oh, I can't have this gear. No, I can't have this. No, like, or not having enough money to rent it out or something, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I just like to be able to grab my camera and do whatever I want. At any time. Two, I just believe in the process and believe in even with the business going the way it's going. I just believe in my ability, the people around me's ability, to make good movies, good looking commercials or music videos, whatever. So I just believe in the business and what I'm doing. And yeah, and I just feel like, making an investment like this, I could always make my money back. I get a house later, I get a car later, I can get all of that stuff. But no matter how long it may take.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just believe in what I'm doing, and I just thought that making those kind of purchases made sense for me and the level that I'm at in my career.
Yeah.
I think it was about time that because I never back in the day when the red Geminis and the red dragons and all that, like I didn't have any money and all that stuff too.
Okay.
So I missed that whole wave of like owner operators of those things, which is looking back, I'm kind of glad I waited, because now those cameras are but yeah.
Because what made you decide to go with the 35 and the LF, the Alexa cameras, and,
well
and that system?
well I've always loved the Airy look versus more other cameras in the workflow of what Airy presents. But I mean, since the regular Mini, we was waiting on that new sensor
Mm.
to come out. And now they had it with the 35, and then now the 35 have all these. First of all, you have the extra stops of dynamic range, and you have the texture modes, and you have the enhanced sensitivity mode to compete with Sony's dual ISO mode.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was just like all these variables. But again, I wish Airy would still give us a point 0.3 in our ND, but that's the only thing. That's my only gripe with them. It's like, dude, why are you starting us with a point 0.6? Like, why can't we just have a point? Why I have to buy a point 3? Like,
Yeah.
just give us a point 0.6. Anyway, I mean, a point 3, but whatever. But um, yeah, just because you could make anything look good with any camera. You know what I'm saying, with good lighting and all that stuff. But it's just the airy look, and just the workflow, and just like from when I started shooting back when like the mirrors and all that came out, I just always like the Airy Alexa systems.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just been a big fan of those cameras in that company for a while. So yeah, it was just only right.
Yep, that's cool. Now, something that is key that you mentioned is that buying of this equipment, investing on it, you made it work for yourself.
Yeah.
It's not a certain thing that you buy equipment and that's gonna work, or having a camera doesn't make you a cinematographer as
Absolutely.
much as going to McDonald's doesn't make you a hamburger.
I've actually seen footage from somebody shooting with an LF versus somebody shooting with with a Black Magic Pocket 6K. And that Black Magic, the footage of the Black Magic blew that area away. Why? Because one was a cinematographer, one was somebody off the street, and they did a test, basically comparing like shooting the same shots, but with a cinematographer skill set and versus somebody on the street, kind of like I would say a little bit under a videographer. Like they did
Okay.
that, I wouldn't even really call them that yet. And yeah, and that Black Magic footage was just like you could just tell the night and day difference from a professional and an amateur. So it's just kind of
Now,
um,
in today's industry, because you mentioned the state of the industry a couple of times, saying like, oh, things are not going well right now. But one of the trends that I've seen I mean, I'm not necessarily denying what you're saying. I'm just adding to it the fact that uh, there is a certain look and feel and a certain aesthetic that now people are getting used to because of social media.
yeah,
And you can have a cinematographer with a leg sign, lenses and stuff, and something look very glossy and polished and awesome, cinematic, whatever. But then you have somebody with an iPhone shooting it in a certain style, putting a lot of editing, and the one performs better for the algorithm than the other one
yeah.
does, you know?
So I mean, like I say, these cameras and stuff, it's not um these high end cameras is not for social. They're not for content creating.
Okay.
They're for movies and you know what I'm saying, like shooting something with a with a purpose and a budget. Not just, I mean, don't get me wrong, stuff on Instagram, I mean, some things are shot with a purpose, but like for the most part, it's just content stuff. It's just stuff to put on there to put get your algorithm up and then like get your followers up and all that. But like I wouldn't call it art.
Okay.
you know um when you pull these cameras out, you're trying to do art. And I think that's just the difference. We're really, dialing down with the lighting to make somebody pretty or make somebody seem dishonest or make somebody seem with the lighting, you know, we could make somebody seem like a hero or a villain just with the lighting. So it's art, you know, versus somebody with iPhone, no lighting, just outside shooting at the wrong time of the day, like 3, 4 p.m. when the sun is just so bright instead of shooting like golden hour in the morning or like 7 p.m. or something like that or whatever, or 6 p.m. Um, yeah, it's just two different things. And I try not to knock people that's like content created and all that stuff. Like as far as like the differences, I mean, you do what you do, and I do what I do. But um, I don't like when people on Instagram is like, yeah, we trying to shoot this little content thing and they want to use an Alexa 35. I'm like, nah.
Okay.
I'm like, no, that's no offense, but the project doesn't even deserve this kind of camera. It like, we could get like a DSLR or something, or you know what I'm saying, or the DJI Osmo or something like that, and we could do it with that. So yeah, everything doesn't deserve um the kind of high end gear.
Mm.
I hope that doesn't offend nobody. Where it's just
Well, it's your opinion and the fact that you're a professional in the industry, you see things in a certain way. The market might change, but it doesn't change the fact that this is also an art form.
yeah, absolutely.
It's not just the film industry, but is an art. And that's kind of like the dichotomy that some people find themselves. Either I'm an owner, operator, an entrepreneur, or am I a filmmaker, artist, storyteller?
Right.
you know and that's kind of like the other question that I have for yourself. What do you see yourself being at this moment in your life? More as you have your own company, you're an entrepreneur, you're investing in equipment, renting it out, or do you see yourself more of like a cinematographer and storyteller, and I love doing this because of art, or is navigating between these two worlds?
Um, so it's navigating in between the two worlds, but I'm more a cinematographer, shooting my own projects for art and all that good stuff. But yeah, I mean, also the business side of it too. It's like you can't just like disregard that part either. Because yeah, this is one of my cameras are paid. Well, two of my cameras are paid off, and one's not. Like I'm still working on it. So it's like it's still a business. It's still got bills to pay. You still, so I balance them both pretty well. But yeah, I'm trying to shoot and create as much as possible, because I just love being on set. I just love storytelling. Um, and then the collaboration with people, you know what I'm saying? I think that's a dope thing that you can get people from all walks of life together to create this one thing together. And like, we all have this one thing in common that we're trying to do. And it's like, I think for me, that's fulfilling for me. Like, I think that's like the best thing about being on set and like, all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
And as far as like your passion projects and the things that are not necessarily related to future industry projects that you're tapping into, but more of those passion projects, those personal things that you're starting to develop that you want to do in the future, what is coming up down the road with Joseph, not only as a Steadicam operator, but telling your own stories, working on your own projects?
So yeah, I have this horror film that I'm about to shoot next week, called Installment. They're gonna shoot for a week, and basically, it's what I think we don't even have much money into it. I think maybe like it's gonna be like 100 grand maybe. But yeah, and then we're gonna take this and take it to the festivals and do what we have to do. Also about to shoot another short called Retirement Party. This is outside like union work and all that.
Okay.
The union side, I have some Tyler Perry shows. I got Sisters, Ruthless, probably another season of Ruthless, probably season 6, something like that. And then this movie was supposed to be shooting in Jamaica called Shot Us. Well, the original one was shot like 20 something years ago. But Shot Us 2 was supposed to be probably shooting that in Morocco sometime, hopefully later in the year with, hopefully, the politics. Yeah, we're signing on for this, and then this time comes and like, yeah, something happened, and
Yeah.
so it's like, um, I just so far as so that's the things I have coming up right now. So yeah.
And in the other side, because it's not only that you are working in these projects and these movies, but you also renting out your equipment and also financing your investments through that. Um, what is a good way that people can follow your journey as a filmmaker, but also get in contact with you if they're interested in renting an Alexa 35 or an LF or the lenses or this unique equipment that it's not something you're gonna find anywhere.
Right.
And so for people to say, hey, I want to have that kind of quality and supplement or complement rather their vision.
So I mean, of course, you have my social media. What Panama at Panama Inc. That's the pretty much my Instagram, and then Joseph Frederick is my Facebook. This is my real full name, and then my website, panaminc.com. You can hit me up there as well, as far as like for shoes or jobs, rentals, whatever. My website, and I mean, or you could just hit me up on social media. I mean, that's what it's for, So yeah, and we could talk numbers and COIs and all that good stuff. Blah blah. So
That's right.
yeah.
Now, in the past, when we had conversations, you've shared with me some moments where you go to certain countries and some places where you see poverty,
Oh.
you see, struggle, but you also find people that look up to you.
Yeah.
And what do you see in your future, uh, almost in the sense of giving out and investing not only in your career, but we've talked many times of how you want to give back to these communities because of what you've seen and what you're capable of, and I think that's very honorable and very unique, and I respect that from you a lot.
hmm So again, like going to these Caribbean countries, and like when you go to the Garrison, which is in Jamaica, that they call that the hood, but it's like you just look around and you just like you could just see there's not a lot of opportunity at all. They're not gonna get the chance to be able to do something like this unless somebody comes to them and like bring it to them and put it in their faces like, hey, so so I was at Tivoli Gardens. This is a place in Jamaica that is not safe. um they had the whole what 2010, they had the whole like 70 people, 100, 70 to 100 people died in this project, looking for this drug kingpin called Christopher Dutton's Coke. Whatnot. He was like the leader of the Shower Posse. It's a whole thing.
A whole movie.
Oh yeah, it's a whole movie in itself. I think he's about to get on like another 2 years or something like that. I'm pretty sure people are waiting in line for the rights to try to shoot that project, but me included. But um, but you just, I walk around, with the people that allow me to walk around, because one of the places that you got to ask for permission to kind of walk around there. So I'm walking around, I just see like the level of poverty like I've never seen. Like I've been to like, I mean, Panama is pretty, certain places. Panama is really, 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 really poor. Dominican Republic, some places like really, really, really poor.
Haiti.
Haiti,
Great.
really, really, really poor. And I don't even want to like compare or nothing like that. But when I was walking around Tivoli Gardens, it was just kind of like, wow, like I should just be thankful for everything I have.
Yeah.
Like that's the type of place that you just walk around and it's like, it's okay. Like maybe I shouldn't complain as much in life. Maybe I shouldn't, like, it'll just make you say that. So it's like when you see stuff like that and exposed to stuff like that, you want to kind of give back to the kids because they don't have, that for a fact they don't have the same opportunities. So yeah.
Yeah, it'll be cool one day to see, uh, George's foundation or Joseph Frederick's foundation. It will be
Yeah.
pretty cool just to see, that philanthropy side of you, which is, since the moment I met you, a lot of our conversations also gravitate towards what we want to do beyond the industry to impact people in this society.
So I have a nonprofit that I'm about to start called Panda Loves You, and basically that's pretty much what I'm gonna be doing, like giving back to like not only just for film, but like anything like back to school stuff. The kids, like especially like, in East Point, um, just start doing stuff like that. The more that I'm blessed with, with the filmmaking, the more the filmmaking can bless me, the more I want to give back in return. So it's just that's really the stuff that I want to start doing outside of the just the trying to teach and all that. So this sneaker giveaway or
Yeah.
or the more gear I get, I might start giving away gear to the ones that's coming up. What and the more I progress in my career, I've always been the type that I've always just wanted to bless somebody instead of like, okay, when I'm done with Steadicam, I want to give my Steadicam away. Not okay, I need you to give me $45,000 for my Steadicam. I want to be to a point where I could just give it away and wash my hands and bless somebody and
Yeah.
change their life like how my life was changed. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's pretty cool. Thank you for sharing, Joseph. I know that for many people, they can identify with you, your journey, even the fact that grieving has make you stronger and make you committed to not only your own well-being, exercising, doing things like that, but also the well-being of others and the interest of helping others. So I really appreciate you as a friend, and I thank you for spending the time here,
Oh man.
just sharing
Thank
also
you.
with the audience as well.
Oh man. Thank you, Carlos. I appreciate it, buddy.
That's right.
Thank
And if you like these conversations, if you feel like there is value in these interviews, I encourage you to go online and follow the podcast on social media and share it with others. And I will see you in another episode of Beyond the Scenes.